Hey folks, it's Patdees. I am the traveling picker. This is going to be a little bit of a different video, but it pertains to reselling. So let's get into it. Well, I didn't have to, I guess, play my trailer of the plane ride because I didn't have to fly here to make this video. But you always got to put my out there, like, subscribe, and check out the channel. And that footage actually is from me. I've been on 8 planes this year, traveling and of course doing different things. And I sure do appreciate you guys being here to kind of listen. Basically, what I want to talk about, and I saw this article today, and I see it is turning into a big problem, is basically theft of retail merchandise that has been more and more noticeable, and our local police station here close by is starting even to post things on Facebook. But basically, big companies are and I'll post some graphics up. You know, they're asking Congress to step in against organized retail crime. Target, CVS, Home Depot, are saying that billions of dollars of stuff is stolen and being sold online. And I've actually said that for years, that sometimes, even on eBay and, of course, Amazon, there's definitely, and there was just a bus I saw recently, where one guy was paying basically, buying garbage bags and garbage bags full of stuff that, people were going in and stealing, like $30 items at CVS and effectively selling it to another guy for like $1 a unit, and that guy's selling it for $2 or $3 a unit, and this stuff can even be sold basically at retail or slightly above what the average price is, and they're making tons of money by doing this. And I get it that a lot of times people don't want companies prying in where they get, but after when it becomes that the underlying, and that's where I have a little bit of fault with Amazon. Basically, what's happening is sometimes Amazon is saying that we're charging too much. It's crazy that their bots are set up. It has to be, because there's things that, like, for example, I'm selling for something $8.59, and there's people selling on there for $12, and sometimes Amazon is selling it for higher. Now, they're saying I sell it for too much. Basically, there has to be a formula. If let's say the average going price is $12.99, how is somebody selling it for $6.99 when, let's be honest, with fees and shipping, there would be no money to be made unless the items are stolen, or they're getting them obviously so cheap, that closeout. But then there's their own issue with that. Is stuff being faked, counterfeit, and stuff like that. So it's very, what's going to happen is I think it's going to get tougher at times to sell on Amazon and some of these. I even see Facebook posts that people are posting, like, you think they were the coupon queen. People are posting, garage sales that it's like they have a mini Dollar General or Family Dollar store set up in their garage where they're selling bottles of Tide and diapers and all kinds of things. And in those types of situations, I suspect that it's probably an employee working somewhere that is, honestly, taking a bottle or two or something's going on. Look, I'm not trying to stereotype But I mean, obviously there are people out there that probably do coupon and stuff like that. But there's definitely stuff that's going on that is coming across shady. And my name is Patdees. I am the traveling picker, and this channel is all about reselling. So I wanted to touch on and get your guys' opinion, and if you're resellers, and what are your thoughts on it, and comment below. But from what I'm reading in this article, like it's 20 CEOs that sent a letter to Congress, basically asking them to pass legislation to curbside some of this illegal activity by anonymous, vendors. They've noticed that they've lost billions of dollars in stolen merchandise. And from what I'm reading here, CEOs of Target, Rite Aid, Home Depot, Dollar General, AutoZone, Kroger, Petco, Ultra Beauty, Nordstrom, Best Buy, it's basically complaining about the anonymity of the internet, and that in current criminal networks and business have basically used and exploited to sell stolen and counterfeit products with basically little recourse. I mean, honesty, these guys get caught, let's say, fencing $10,000 worth of stuff online. It's less time in jail than it is robbing a bank of $2,000. So they're trying to pass a bill called the Integrity, Notification, and Fairness in Online Retail Marketplace Inform for Consumers Act. Basically, it would make it harder for bad sellers to hide between fake screen names and false business information when fencing illicit products, the letter said. Okay. But there's people like, basically, complaining on the opposite end that, a lot of the retailers are trying to do this to kind of eliminate their competition, and it's not about the theft, So Amazon actually, what they've done is they've introduced live video and physical address verification. I know myself, I've gotten the postcards in, and it's got to come to where, the address listed, and you got to give a code, and you have to identify with the government IDs, and of course, Amazon says they don't allow people to sell stolen goods, but how do they know? But they regularly request invoices, purchase orders, and proofs of sourcing. When I mean, it's Amazon's getting tough. I mean, good people, small business guy like myself that wants to, do things legitimate and sell, and it's crazy. You'll get on there and list, like, you find 4 items because a store, like let's say a Walgreens, and this has happened in my local area. We had 2 Walgreens closed down, and they did not want to take the merchandise to another store, so they were selling a lot of their stuff at 75% off. There was still room to make money selling it. Like if it normally was $20, and you could buy it for $5. And if it was first class item, you could list that, and as long as it wasn't something that I was gated in or a brand has blocked, that's something honestly that you could list for $19.99, the going retail, and still make money because of the low cost of shipping, being first class, and really it was a good deal. And but it gets harder and harder because even brands now are making false claims to shut people's items down on Amazon. But definitely, unfortunately, because Amazon. What was Amazon's sales last year? Amazon's annual. Now they have. I mean, they have cloud income, so it's hard to. It looks like, yeah, they've really grown. I mean, 2017 they had 178 million. No, that's probably billions. Yeah, that's in the billions. It's got to be. Yeah, $178 billion in 2017, and in 2020, $386 billion. Now, I'm not sure, and I'm quick look. I pulled this up on Yahoo. I'm not sure what the breakdown is, because they do have cloud, they have the Prime membership, and people pay for that. But obviously, they are the largest online um, selling stuff, and then people are Shopify, and it's hard though. It's not like it reminds me. I used to watch The Sopranos, and you know they'd get a a truckload of stolen tools, and they would know a guy at a local hardware store, and they'd work a deal out with him to kind of sell those. Now with basically being able to sell online and ship them all over the world, it's going to be difficult to combat. Now, all of a sudden, someone is, goes from basically selling, let's say, $20,000 a year, and they're selling $2 million like overnight like that. It's like, well, then maybe you got a question. I mean, yeah, they could be super smart. They got the right product, but I think and they could probably program the computers that way. Obviously, the first sign would be, let's say a Makita drill sells for $99.99, and they're selling it for $59.99. Well, I mean, how is that possible? Obviously, if you're stealing it and you're getting it for free, that's definitely a case. But if you notice, and I've noticed this before myself in clearance items, if items are on clearance, like for example Walmart, you will see there will be a flood of that product on eBay, on not so much, I haven't studied so much Facebook Marketplace, but on Amazon, and sometimes I say, even then, like, how are people doing the math? You're picking up, let's say, a $9 item that normally was 25, and they're selling it for $13. It's like, well, until you pay shipping and pay fees, you're not making nothing. But it's crazy. And let's be honest, and I've seen this before, where a clearance price at one store for $3 could be $7 clearance at another store, and another store might not even clearance that item at all. So, there's some leadway that the managers have on how much they want to put on clearance, but it definitely is a problem. I've always said it from, obviously you can't compete, with free or stolen, and, definitely I could see people, them, big corporations pushing Congress to kind of do something about it. But no worries here. We buy. I mean, we buy everything legit. If somebody called us up tomorrow and said, hey, I got a tractor trailer load of, I'm like, you can't get involved in stuff like that. I mean, that's you're just asking for trouble, and it's a crime. So, you don't need to make money. The thing is, it's tough, because there's times I've listed things and I'm like, how the heck are they selling that so cheap? Because I can't. There's times I'm like, wait a minute, they're selling it for $7, and we're buying it for $6. Like, even if they bought it wholesale, but I don't know. But I mean, I've always said there's been stuff that's been stolen. So, what are your thoughts on it? And I'm going to talk about in the future videos about returns on investment. I want to make videos also that doesn't show the stuff that I get, but also kind of teaches people, and like I've done, packing and boxes, and really what return on investment, what's the margin, what's that mean? I've had people say to me, hey Pat, what do you mean by margins, and what's net, what's gross, and things like that. There are some things that honestly, you could, let's say you bought for $5 and you sold for 10, and you net it, $1. If you sell, a couple thousand of that item, that's net 20%. That's still a pretty good return. But then there's some that you if you're just losing money on it, then you have to pass on those things, and chasing product, or trying to find things is not as always easy as you think, and there's a variety of reasons, which I'll get into in future videos, and discuss the ups and downs. Like, wholesale, for example, you may have to have a $5,000 minimum. We're doing retail arbitrage. I can, sometimes you can, let's say, walk into that Walgreens at closing, and maybe pick 30 different things and buy 3 of each, even though you're leaving some things behind, because you're kind of testing the waters to see, like, hey, will these things sell? Now, sometimes they sell real good, and you're like, wow, why didn't I buy more? but that happens, and the prices with Amazon are always fluctuating. I mean, I've seen some things go for $29.99 that now sell for $19.99. So there you almost thought you were gonna buy let's say a $15 product and make $10 on it. Now you're gonna make $3. But things with codes and especially health supplements or anything related to health that's sold in a CVS, Walgreens, or Rite Aid, you always have those expiration dates that you want to be mindful of. So, all right, guys, I didn't want to make this too long. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, and I do appreciate your support. Just something to think about, something to discuss. Don't get disgusted by sometimes if you do sometimes you find something that's good, and just hold on to it for a little while. I recently have noticed, and I'm recording this in about the middle of December, that some toys that I had from 2 years ago that basically people were selling pretty much at a loss or break even, that because those toys aren't really made no more and there's not many people on them no more, that I'm able to get, even selling it cheaper, I'm still able to make more money than I would have last year or the year before. So, all right, guys, like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying the holidays with your family, and thank you.